So focus only on the breath and don't allow the mind to wander anywhere. Pranayama becomes very powerful when the focus is there. Otherwise, it becomes like any other normal breathing. Make sure your entire physical body and the mind are totally relaxed. And when the physical body and the mind are well relaxed and the mind is quietened, use the Upanishad mantras to do mananam on the supreme principle. Today, we will take the Kathopanishad mantra. It says that within every physical body, there is one supreme principle which is different from the characteristics of the matter principle, and that is Brahman, and knowing which one attains immortality, Amrutatvam. Ashariram sharireshu anavasthveshvavasthitam mahantam vibhumatmanam atva dhiro na shochati. Sharireshu ashariram. Within all the physical bodies, there is one principle which is different from the physical body. Ashariram. Sharireshu anavasthveshvavasthitam. So it is beyond the three states of experience, beyond the state of experience that we undergo in waking, dream, or deep sleep. It's called the fourth state, Chaturtham Turiyam. Tam Mahan, it is greater than the greatest. Vibhum, glorious principle. Atmanam, where is it? It is your own true nature. Matva, one has to know. So this is the path of jnanam, path of knowledge. Even dhyanam or what? So-called meditation also will not give you this state of eternal bliss. It is only through jnanam, systematic study Vedanta Shastras, matva dhiraha na shochati. So you have the qualifications of dedicated study to the Shastras, Vedanta Shastras, go beyond sorrow, attain eternal happiness, and anandam, that is moksham, that is jnanam. So, how to attain that? Let's understand through the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hri Om Makratu Namaha Akaji Sute Koti Samaprabha Nirvighnam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha निधये सर्वविद्यानां षजय भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्ते नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतं वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्ते नमः। अपारकरुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्महम्। ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ श्रीकृष्णाय परमात्मने नमः। ॐ श्रीगणेशाय नमः। श्रीसरस्वत्यै नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओं। श्रीभगवानुवाच तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहमज्ञानजं तमः नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्थः ध्यानदीपेन भास्वता ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः तमसः परमुच्यते। ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितं न हि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिह विद्यते। तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञानम् येषां नाशितमात्मनः तेषामादित्यवज्ञानम् प्रकाशयति तत्परं यथैधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निः भस्मसात् कुरुतेऽर्जुन ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तमाहुः पण्डितं बुधाः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अष्टमोऽध्यायः अक्षरब्रह्मयोगः। ॐ नारायणः परो व्यक्तात् अण्डमं व्यक्तसम्भवम् अण्डस्यान्तस्त्विमे लोकाः तद्दीपाच मेदिनी। Om. Now let's stand. Shloka number 19, which we learned in the last class. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Bhutagramassa evayam Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate Ratriagame Vashah Partha Prabhavatyah Ragame. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hardam Swagatam. Hearty welcome to the next session on the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. For people who may still not know, all the 4 classes will continue now with 8th chapter going forward 9th, 10th, 11th. And so some people have made a habit of attending only the 8th chapter. So now you all attend all the 4 classes, attend live and learn. That is when you get the knowledge, and that's how I think you'll focus. Recording and all is secondary. Okay. Again, Hardam Swagatam. Let's continue. So, what is the context? Bhagavan wants to explain 2 aspects, write down, with respect to the matter principle. The vastness of creation and the vastness of time scale. 1, write down, very important point, this particular subject matter. And 2, everything is only incidental, temporary, not permanent. They will come, they will exist for some time and disappear. So whatever be the vastness or the in terms of time scale or space or whatever energy, this universe or the cosmos in a what it's called samashti swarupam, and also with respect to the physical body in vyashti swarupam is going to be only temporary. There is only one principle that is permanent, eternal, the truth principle, and that is Brahma Tattvam. As long as we are focused on the matter principle, the physical body, and associated things, you will get only temporary pleasures, temporary happiness, temporary peace of mind. There will be no permanent peace of mind. And so, this is all leading up to the next sloka, sloka number 20. 19 PVA is done. Anybody can confirm? PVA is done. Very good. So, you all understood, right? So, during Brahmaji's day, helplessly all the Jivarashis were unmanifest. They were thrown out of no existence during the arrival of night. They come back during the arrival of day of Brahmaji into existence. Doesn't mean all the beings will come at the same time. So please don't think, sir, then if everybody born at the same time, there is a process. Systematic process is there. I told you what is the process. Even for that, Upanishad mantra is there. What is the process? First, space. Tasmadva etasmadatmana akasha sambhutaha. Akasha means space. Akasha dvayuhu, then air. Vayo ragnihi, then fire. Agnerapaha, then water. Adhyaf prithvi, then earth. That is the process. So not then you should, then no, some Brihaspati will say, everybody should be born at the same time, all should have the same age. No, it's not like that. There's a consistent process. Then Prithvivyam Oshadhayaha, then food comes. Food and medicine is first prepared before the human being can come. It is not like, suppose you get sick. No, Shujit, you're not getting, but just imagine. After that, you start studying for MBBS doctor. Nah, then find a medicine. By the time you find a medicine, what will happen? Doctor should be available before you become sick. Yes or no? Similarly, look at the creation process. Prithivya Oshadhayaha. After the earth, all the food material, medicinal, shrubs are all created. Oshadhibhyonnam. Then food, eatable food. Yes or no? Suppose you are born and then after some time you are hungry. Can you run around? Create food? Look at creation. It's a very systematic process. Though it is relatively real, write down, very, very important. There is a systematic process. That is why it's called relative reality. There is a Rita Dharma. There is a particular order to the whole thing. Okay, it's not chaotic. So, Oshadhi Bhyonnam Annat Purushaha. Then only the human being is coming. Annat Purushaha Tasmat Purushaha Anna Rasamayaha. So, the Upanishad clearly declares that what? That is why a human being is full of food body. The body is full of food. Swamiji Solvar, again. The food in the body, evlo idli, evlo sambar, evlo chutney, how much has gone inside? Imagine. So much has gone inside. So, epitome of food. Whether you have got Vedantic knowledge, dharmic knowledge, any other knowledge, food is required or not. Everybody requires food, right? So, Purushaha Anna Rasamayaha. That's why this Taittiriya mantra, after getting Brahmagnanam, also praises food. Because without food, no one can survive. Yes or no? All of you in US, they're all going for different party, Thanksgiving party, that dinner, this and all. Central thing is food only. So food is the most important thing. So say Annavanannadho bhavati mahan bhavati prajaya pashubhir brahmavarchasena. So make sure that you have the right food in right order, in right quantity, right quality, right time. Very important. So all that is a byproduct principle from this main concept. It says that entire creation is ephemeral, it's not permanent. goes through a cycle, and so helplessly the jivas will have to be born again. As I told you, once again you start ABCD, all those things, eat food, go on living continuously, goes on and on, helplessly come into manifestation during Brahmaji's day, and helplessly go back into extinction, into dissolution, the beginning of Brahmaji's night. Clear? So far clear, no? So, is there no escape? Sir, should we continue like this always? Bhagavan says, no, there is a way out. Shloka number 20. Wonderful shloka, important, write down. Most important shloka of chapter number 8 is shloka number 20. Shri Bhagavanuvacha parastasmattu bhavonyaha amvyakto miktat sanatanaha yassa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. Someone chant.
श्रीभगवानुवाच परस्तस्मात्तु भावोऽन्यः अव्यक्तो व्यक्तात् सनातनः यस्य सर्वेषु भूतेषु नश्यत्सु न विनश्यति.
Very good. Also together. Shri Bhagavanuvacha parastasmattu bhavonyaha amvyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yassa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So write down. From shloka number 16 up to 19, 16, 17, 18, 19 was all with respect to the matter principle. And the jivatmas, the beings are nothing but what? The matter principle nicely organized externally over the consciousness principle. So with prana, with consciousness being what? Permeating the individual beings, the matter principle, right? That is living beings. And non-living beings is totally matter principle. All that Bhagavan explained from shloka number 16 to 19. Beginning number 20 for the next couple of shlokas, Bhagavan is going to say the way to escape this continuous cycle of creation, sustenance, dissolution in all the 14 lokas, impermanent 14 lokas, is by focusing on the supreme principle, which is Brahma Tattvam. So, now, understand now. When the night of Brahmaji begins, okay, all the beings go into what? Unmanifest state. That is also called what? Avyaktam. Avyaktam means that which is unmanifest. Vyaktam means manifest. So there is a shloka I referred. Anybody quickly can remember? Amvyaktadini bhutani bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyaktanidhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. Somewhere you heard this shloka, right? Forgotten. Avyaktadini bhutani. So all the beings were unmanifest. Vyaktamadhyani bharata. Hey Bharata, Arjuna, they get manifest. They show themselves up for a brief period of time in between. Avyakta nidhananyeva. So when they perish, they go back. They are not totally destroyed. They only go into unmanifest state. That means what? There's something that is still there, which will make them manifest again. Matter, recycling matter. Clear? So Bhagavan is saying, beyond this unmanifest state, so that is one avyaktam, where the beings are unmanifested, there is a higher unmanifested state. So the higher unmanifest state is nothing to do with what? manifestation and non-manifestation. Why it's called unmanifest, higher unmanifest state? Because it is beyond Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandham. Please understand. Write down. The higher unmanifest state, for now discussion, understand the lower unmanifest is what? We go into extinction. So at the beginning of the night of Brahmaji, entire world creation, everything, there is something that is a superior unmanifest state. Why? Because it will never get manifested. Important, another write down. This one will get manifested in between and go into unmanifest. But the supreme Brahma Tattvam, consciousness principle, does not need to go into manifest, unmanifest continuously. One, it is always existent. It is eternal. It is always unmanifest. Ashabdam, asparsham, arupam, avyayam. So it is beyond manifestation. It is not that something can comprehend. So it is superior unmanifest state. And what is that called? Supreme unmanifest principle. What is it called as? Brahma Tattvam. So that unmanifest principle is called Brahman, which is eternal. Write down. Are you understanding now? This manifest, unmanifest cycle of the beings, are they eternal? No. They are all temporary states of existence. They exist for some time, they go into extinction. Whereas there is one supreme principle which is also avyaktam, because it will never get what? Physically come into being. So it is called, it is the higher unmanifest state, is eternal. And importantly, even though all the beings perish during Brahmaji's night, right? This principle will not perish. It always exists. So Bhagavan is wonderfully pointing out to the supreme principle, avyayam, that never perishes. It is no doubt avyaktam. Whereas it is avyayam, does not perish. It is eternal, always exists. It exists even during Brahmaji's night. 4.32 billion years there, no? Even during that period, it exists. It is beyond time, it is beyond space, it is beyond causation. Esha Kala Atita Param Brahma Tattvam always exists. It will not perish even when everything perishes. Are you understanding clearly? Bhagavan is pointing out importantly to this important supreme principle, Brahma Tattvam. Now look at the Padavibhaga Anmaya. Paraha Tasmat Tu Bhavaha Anyaha Avyaktaha Avyaktat. That is why S mark is there. Yes or no? In your printing? Avyakto Vyaktat Sanatanaha. Yes or no? Huh? So Avyaktaha Avyaktat. The way to understand, people know Sanskrit. Avyaktat Avyaktaha. More unmanifest than the unmanifest. That's why you do Anvaya, will get it beautifully. Avyaktaha Avyaktat. And what is it? Sanatanaha. Yaha Saha Sarveshu Bhuteshu Nashyatsu Na Vinashyati. Clear, huh? All of you got it? Very good. Slowly, when you do this method, you'll get mastery your Bhagavad Gita. This is the way to do. Okay, now look at the Anmaya. Paraha Tasmad Avyaktat. You see? What is the vibhakti? Avyaktat. Panchami. Okay. Paraha Tasmad Avyaktat. Anyaha Avyaktaha Bhavaha. See? Avyaktat Anyaha Avyaktaha. Because the word Avyakta is repeating. So Bhagavan wants to say there is one Avyakta. Anyaha Avyaktaha means what? Another Avyaktam. Paraha Tasmad Avyaktat Anyaha Avyaktaha Bhavaha. Yaha Sanatanaha saha na vinashyati. So where to connect? There. Na vinashyati. So the last two words. Na vinashyati. Sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu. Sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu. Clear? Huh? Anvay is clear? PBA team? Make the groups know. Paraha tasmad avyaktat anyaha avyaktaha bhavaha yaha sanatanaha. Group 1. Clear? Group 2. Saha na vinashyati sarveshu bhuteshu nasyatsu. I think it is 14, no? Paras tasmat tu. Tu you add. Tu should be in the beginning. Okay. Tu in the beginning. So totally 15. So tu paraha tasmad avyaktat anyaha avyaktaha bhavaha yaha sanatanaha. 9. Correct? Then saha na vinashyati sarveshu bhuteshu nashyat. So total 15 padas are there in this sloka. Tu. First is tu. Tu means what? But. Why but? When we say in the previous few slokas that everything goes into extinction at the beginning of Brahmaji's night, we have to do a comparison. But compared to all those things that are getting extinguished, getting extinct, tu. However, but what is happening? Paraha, beyond. Tasmad avyaktat. That unmanifest. Also on cameras, Vijay Sitaraman, Jagat Trivedi, all of you. Huh? What is that unmanifest? Write down. Unmanifest state of what? All the beings, jivas. Tasmad avyaktat means what? That unmanifest state with respect to all the beings. Bhutagramaha. Okay? So, paraha tasmad avyaktat, beyond that unmanifest state, which corresponds to all the beings. Anyaha amyaktaha, there is another unmanifest supreme principle, bhavaha. Bhavaha refers to a being. Means what? Something that exists. So, we have to say that the supreme principle exists, but not like any other matter principle. For us, exist means should have a name, form, shape, color, quality, and all. This is what? Exists, but doesn't have any name, form, shape, color, quality. Okay? That's why bhavaha. Anyaha amyaktaha bhavaha. Another unmanifest supreme principle that exists. And what is the nature of this? Yaha sanatanaha. This is eternal. Yaha. Which is what? Eternal. Sanatanaha. So first group. Second group. Saha. This supreme principle, which is eternal. Write down bracket. Eternal. Na vinashyati. Very easy to understand now. Na vinashyati means what? Does not perish, does not going to exist. Extinction. Sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu. Even when all beings perish. Nashyatsu means what? Go into dissolution, perish, right? So even when all the beings are two types, living beings, non-living beings, right? Everything goes into extinction. This supreme principle will be existent. So Bhagavan wants to point out the truth. Eternal Brahma Tattvam compared to everything that is what? Transitory, transient. So now let us understand what is the supreme principle. So here are only few slokas in this chapter. Bhagavan is dedicated to the Brahma Tattvam, supreme Brahman, which is beyond time, beyond space, beyond causation. Sloka number 21. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Amvyakto Ksharayut ityuktaha tamahuh paramam gatim yam prapya na nivartante tadhama paramam mama.
श्रीभगवानुवाच अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तः तमाहुः परमां गतिम् यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम.
Very good. Also, a very important shloka. All these shlokas mark as very important. Shloka number 2021. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Amyaktokshara ityuktaha tamahuh paramam gatim yam prapya nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It's the most wonderful shloka because point one, write down it. That's a comparative study between matter principle and consciousness principle. Two, it indicates this is the only permanent entity. And three, more importantly, that is the true nature of Bhagavan. What is studied in the 7th chapter? What did you study? He studied that what is Ishvara Tattvam? Bhagavan is equal to forgotten all. Apara Prakriti plus Para Prakriti. Apara Prakriti is matter principle, is no transient, comes and goes. Para Prakriti is eternal, conscious, all that you remember or not. So it's all continuous study only. It's not something coming in between. So now Bhagavan is introducing something very unique called the consciousness principle. Now please understand all the scientists who are there from time, from last many years, centuries now, and even into the future, they will never understand this consciousness principle. Why? Because the consciousness principle is not subject to any analysis or measurement. Aprameyaha. There is one word in Sahasranam. What is it called as? Aprameyo Rishikesha Padmanabho Amara Prabhu. Right? So you cannot do chemical analysis, no physical analysis. No, you cannot do what? Spectral analysis. No, what they do? When they send something to space, they do some spectral analysis. That's the way they understand what kind of matter is there. That is magnesium or iron or whatever it is, right? So this consciousness can never be subject to any analysis. So it is beyond science. So Bhagavan says here that there is one superior unmanifest being. Being means not because it's existent. That is said to be the imperishable one. Oh, Edaksharam Vedavido Badanti. Remember? So, it is Aksharam. That Aksharam, imperishable one, is a superior unmanifest principle. One. Then two, Bhagavan now says, he doesn't say, I am now doing inner engineering. He's not saying that. Says the scriptures declare, Shastras, Vedas, Vedanta declare that this supreme principle, Brahma Tattvam, is the ultimate goal. Sakashta sa paragatihi. Upanishad mantra says, this is the ultimate, and this is the ultimate goal and the final destination for everybody. Clear? Huh? So, very important, Supreme Brahman is the goal. That means what Bhagavan is already saying. While I am explaining all this, you do all this, Kapala Moksham, Krama Mukti, pull the prana, all these things you do, even that will not get you the final destination or goal of Brahman. For that, I told you should go to Brahmaloka and study. So, Bhagavan is indicating, understand, my dear people, that this supreme unmanifest being is the supreme goal, ultimate goal. And who is saying that? Scriptures are declaring. It is not that somebody is manufacturing. Clear? Huh? Then so Bhagavan finally concludes this sloka by saying, you know what? This supreme, that the greatest unmanifest principle, Brahma Tattvam, is my abode. That means what? It is my real nature. What I appear as what? Mahavishnu, Sri Ramachandra, or Shiva, or Hanuman, or all what? Not real. It is only what? Or transient. Just for people for Madhya Mandhama Adhikari, Manda Madhyama Adhikari, for those people to get focus, Ishvara appears as a physical form. Otherwise, it is Ashabdam Asparsham Arupumvim. And so Bhagavan says, why I am saying all these things? Bhagavan saying, attaining this state, because that supreme Brahma Tattvam is also the true nature of all beings. One who understands, attains that supreme state, is not subject to any return. Are you seeing now? If you don't get Brahmagnanam, understand Brahma Tattvam, you will go from unmanifest to unmanifest, cycle will continue. Beyond all these things, there is one superior unmanifest. So, Aksharat, what? This Abhyaktat Abhyaktaha. So, it is the greatest unmanifest state. Once you reach that state, there is no subject to cycle of what? Continuously coming, disappearing, this happening. Clear? So now look at the Padavibhaga and Anmaya. So after reaching Brahman, what happens? Will you come back? When you reach Brahman, attain Brahman, there is no, what I'll tell you why. Okay, once a jnani gets what? Brahmagnanam, as long as prarabdha is there, the physical body will continue to exist. Then not only the physical body, but also the cause for the creation of physical body. I told you, for Ajnani, the physical body may perish, but the cause for the existence of the subtle body is still there. What is it called as? Karana Shariram. Avidya, Ajnanam is still there. So it will make sure that the Sthula Shariram exists, will manifest as Sthula Shariram, and the cycle will continue. Whereas for Ajnani, the Karana Shariram, Ajnanam is removed. How to remove Ajnanam? Can you do Homa, Yajna to remove Ajnanam? Can you do Dhyanam to remove Ajnanam? Can you do Japam to remove Ajnanam? Only by Dhyanam. Jnana Devatu Kaivalyam. So one who gets Jnanam, for a person, there is no return. You remember the picture? All of you look at the picture now. There is one picture in page number. Take the e-book, all of you. Page number 9. Go to page number 9. Again and again, see this picture. There is a path C indicated there or not? That path C corresponds to sloka number 22. Write down. Again, sloka number 22, the third path. What happens in the third path? Instead of focusing on only upasana, what? Sakama, saguna upasana, or nishkama, saguna upasana, what should be the focus now? Focus is study of Vedanta Shastras, understand Aham Brahmasmi, and so you get Jivan Mukti, and so there is no return. Those who want to enjoy, sir, I want to come back again. Sometimes people who go to some very nice place, an excursion and NRS, they'll go to some place. After that trip is over, they'll say, I'll come back again. I want to come back again to this place. Nah. If you are those kind of people who want to come back, then you don't need to study Vedanta. But if you don't want to come back, then study Vedanta. Even, see, after getting Jnanam, by chance Bhagavan wants you to do some special work. He'll send you a special assignment. Then happily you will come do the assignment. Not for enjoying the world, but for Lokakshemartham, benefit of society. So, Jnanam makes you permanently, eternally happy. So, technically you will not return, but if there is no special work, then you may come. They're called Adhikarika Purushaha. Write down. They are special people like Vedavyasa, Shankaracharya, all those people are born for the benefit of humankind. Now look at the Padavibhaga Anmaya of sloka number 21. Avyaktaha. Aksharaha iti uktaha tam ahuhu paramam gatim yam prapya na nivartante tat dhama paramam mama. Very good. No, very fast. La churka gidra. Say no in Kannada. Very good. Now look at the Anvaya. Avyaktaha iti uktaha. Avyaktaha iti uktaha aksharaha ahuhu tam paramam gatim tat paramam dhama mama prapya yam na nivartante. Bahuvachana. Okay. Clear? You got it? I'll do once again groupings, then you'll understand much better and make notes again. First group. Avyaktaha iti uktaha aksharaha. One group. Ahuhu tam paramam gatim. Number two. Group two. Group three. Tat paramam dhama mama. Group three. Group four. Prapya yam na nivartante. Clear? If you are organized, then put line like this. After Anvaya, you'll be able to understand Shloka very clearly. So slightly complicated, you have to go systematically. So far, PVA is clear, all of you? Then I can proceed further. Can few of you say clear? Okay, very good. Now, Bhagavan wants to explain that supreme principle which is beyond matter. Please understand, when all this matter is there is one eternal observer, the witness consciousness principle, eternal principle is there. That principle is what? Called the observer. Sakshi Chaitanyam we say. This is observer of all the change. So when change is happening, some observation principle should be there, right? That is the observer of all the change of the matter principle. It is a changeless consciousness principle. Please understand, change can happen only on something that never changes. Something that is eternal, the same throughout. Only on that permanent, changeless principle, changes can happen. Are you getting? Something that is eternal. Bhagavan is focusing our thoughts on that supreme, changeless consciousness principle. Clear? Now, look at the meaning. Then with this background, look at the meaning. Now, avyaktaha iti uktaha. Avyaktaha. This supreme being is also called as avyaktaha, means what? Unmanifest. Why unmanifest? Not because it doesn't come into manifestation, because it can never have a physical form, name, shape, color, quality, anything. Clear? Only when you manifest, all this will come together along with that. So, the supreme unmanifest being, iti uktaha, is said to be. Once again, see, is said to be. Means what? The scriptures declare this by giving a special name called Aksharaha. So, this special term, Aksharaha, generally means that which doesn't perish. But when in Vedanta, Upanishad mantras, the word Aksharaha comes. So, even in Bhagavad Gita, Aksharam Brahma Paramam, yes or no, is called as, said to be Uktaha. It is said to be what? Aksharaha, the imperishable. Aksharaha means imperishable. Please follow my teaching. Don't put nothing to do with changing here. It is imperishable, does not perish. So when the manifestation, unmanifestation happens, what happens? The manifested beings perish, whereas the Supreme Being does not perish. Aksharaha naksharati iti aksharaha. Naksharaha iti aksharaha. And so now, what is this principle? Ahuhu tam. Ahuhu means it is being declared by the scriptures. Declared by the scriptures. Tam. That Supreme Being, what? Is Paramam Gatim, to be the supreme goal. So, what's the supreme goal of all beings? If you are really focused, the highest goal that you can attain is attaining this supreme Brahma Tattvam, Aksharaha, Aksharaha Purushaha. So, for that, what you have to do? You have to focus on Vedantic studies, Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasana, and get this Jnanam as Aham Brahmasmi. Very important. Only by Jnanam can avoid this travel. Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Yattad Adresham Agrasham Agotram Avarnam Achakshu Stotram Tadapani Padam Nityam Vibhum Sarvagatam Sukshmam Tadabhyayam Yadbhutayonim Paripashyanti Dhiraha. So even Mundaka Upanishad follows again and again the word Aksharam Brahma Paramam. So that is the supreme goal that should be reached. So first part is Bhagavan is introducing the word Aksharaha for the supreme principle. It is also the greater unmanifest state. The scriptures declare. Second part is that that particular supreme state is the Paramam Gatim. Gatim means what? Goal. Supreme goal. Parama Purusharthaha Mokshaha. Clear? And then Bhagavan now adds a special thing. What is that? Tat Paramam Dhama Mama. So, Tat, that is the supreme abode. That is the supreme Paramam Dhama. Tat means that, Paramam, supreme, Dhama means abode. Abode means what? State. So Bhagavan is now himself saying that I exist as two different entities. What are they? Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti. One is the higher nature, which is what? Paramam Dhama. Of whom? Mama. Of mine. Mama also Shashti, right? Of mine. I don't know why the special thing, why that, no? Indication is coming against my thing. I'm not doing anything. I'll zoom us into some new things, I think. Okay. So, can somebody investigate how to remove all this, no? Emojis. Huh? Okay. So, Paramam Gatim. So, maybe even the Zoom has got inspired by the Paramam Gatim. Paramam Gatim Tat Paramam Dhama. So, both are Paramam. You see, Paramam Gatim, that is said to be supreme goal. Tat Paramam Dhama. That is also what? Mama. Supreme abode of mind. So clear? These three groups. Now, what is that? Sir, all this is fine, sir. What is in it for me? Bhagavan is saying, Prapya Yam, attaining which? Prapya, attaining Yam. What? Which? Yam Yam Lokam Anasasam Vibhati. Yam means what? Which? So, Prapya Yam Nanivartante. So, if you want to get rid of this cycle of what? Avyakta, Avyaktaha, then Vyaktaha, then Avyaktaha, continuously, only one way out. Prapyayam. What? Attaining which? What? Paramam Dhama, Aksharaha, Paramam Gatim. These three things, write down. Attaining Aksharaha, Paramam Gatim, Paramam Dhama Mama. That is Bhagavan's true nature. Nanivartante. They do not return. So unless you understand that I am actually of the nature of consciousness, I am that supreme consciousness, Jyotishamapi Tajyotihi. Tamasah paramuchyate. Now you can ask the question, what is the point in trying to understand? Just by understanding will all this happen? Yes, write down. Yad bhavam tad bhavati. Tam yatha yatha upaste tadeva bhavati. Whatever you think of, you become that. Yes or no? That is what Bhagavan said, no? What? The beginning of this chapter, remember, go back. What did Bhagavan say? Sloka number 6. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram. I'm using tyajati ante purposely. Why? Because Mahaprabhu told tyajati ante. He wants to break that word. Yam, do you remember the sloka or not? Mahaprabhu was wonderfully explained. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitaha. Very important sloka. This sloka is true even for people who are doing upasana, also for people who have got jnanam. Whatever you think of continuously, backed by proper knowledge, not just some kind of superstition, you become that. So, if you understand your Brahman and constantly are able to establish in that reality, then what happens? You become Brahman. You attain that state. What is that state? Write down Aksharaha. That is ultimate Paramam Gatim. Also Param Dhama Mama. Prapya. So, you attain that state. And so what happens? No more return back to Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. So that is why this concept of consciousness principle, which is actually started only from the Vedanta portion of the Vedas. So I told you, there are 3 portions, right? Broadly, Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda, Jnana Kanda. Only Jnana Kandam, this is being introduced. And so the scientists will never understand about this consciousness principle. It is beyond any physical, chemical, spectral analysis. It is beyond time, space, causation, and it has no location. What is the location of Brahman? Can you say Brahman is located only here? What is the location? It is everywhere. Please understand. So there is no location. But where can you locate it finally? It is my true nature. It is here. Atmanam. So that is my true nature. So you don't need to run around everywhere. Supreme principle is your own true nature. So this is what in the Upanishads continuously this point is brought out again and again. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, lot of discussions happen between Yajnavalkya and all the other people. They're questioning, what is this Aksharaha? Supreme principle. So, Yajnavalkya says, Athapara yaya tadaksharam adhigamyate. There is one supreme principle, even in Mundaka Upanishad. All the Upanishad talks about is Akshara, or the supreme, what? Imperishable principle, which is beyond matter. Mahatah paramam vyaktam. It is greater than the Mahat principle. Now let's quickly go to the Shankara Bhashyam. I want to refer to a few wonderful Upanishad mantras that Acharya is referring. Anybody has got Shankara Bhashyam, please take. Chapter number 8, Shloka number 21. Look at the Bhashya Vakya. Just 2 or 3 I'll read for you. So, in this particular Shloka, Acharya talks about Vishnoho Paramam Padam. Vishnoho Paramam Padam. So even in the previous shloka, since it started from the previous shloka, shloka number 20, Acharya refers to Parastasmat Ityuktam. So what are they? Bhutva Praliyate. So Acharya says that Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padam. Can you see? Yam Param Bhavam Prapya Gatvan Nivartante Samsaraya Tat Dhama Sthanam Paramam Prakrishtam Mama Tad Vishno Paramam Padagum Sadaha Pashyanti Surayaha Divi Vachakshuratatam Tad Vipraso Punehoja Durvagum sassamindate Vishnoryah paramam padam. So Acharya Shankara is pointing out to all these important Upanishad mantras where the supreme principle is being focused on. So please understand, just by your material science, one cannot reach this supreme consciousness. Only by study of Vedanta Shastras, you can attempt to know, understand, and become this Param Brahma Tattvam, Yad Bhavam Tad Bhavati. So people who are interested, you'll be very surprised. Even Western scientists, like what? Niels Bohr, Schrodinger, what? Even Albert Einstein have gone beyond what? The physics and chemistry of matter principle to understand what is this supreme consciousness. They all studied Upanishads. They didn't study it properly. Rutu Raval. They didn't study properly from traditional teacher. So they all didn't get a proper understanding. But you should appreciate their interest to understand supreme principle. And they also wanted to understand is Atman. So Atman, they thought there's something called as Atman, one entity. And so all that they got very interested to study, because science can go only up to a point. Beyond that, science cannot go. So they found that there is something superior to all the matter and all that analysis, paralysis they're doing. So luckily, should actually be very fortunate to be born in this culture, in this tradition where supreme principle is being introduced traditionally through the greatest scripture, the Vedic scripture. That's why Bhagavan is saying Ahuhu. He is not telling something on his own. Underline the word Ahuhu, the scriptures. So, as Acharya says in what? In this Sutra Bhashyam, what does he say? Tad Brahma, Sarvajnaha, Sarva Shaktihi, Jagadutpatti Sthitaleya Karanam, Vedanta Shastra Deva Avagamyate. Only by Vedanta Shastra can understand this. So clear? So sloka number 21 is pointing to the Purushaha. Where is Purushaha? Purushaha was a question that Arjuna asked. This is Parah Purushaha. Aksharaha Parah Purushaha. So what should be our goal now? Having studied this sloka, we should make sure that we keep this Brahmagnanam as the most important goal of our life. Sloka number 22. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Purushassa Parah Partha Bhaktya Labhyasvananyaya Yasyantasthani Bhutani Ena Sarvamidam Tatam.
श्रीभगवानुवाच पुरुषस्य परः पार्थ भक्त्या लभ्यस्त्वनन्यया यस्यान्तस्थानि भूतानि येन सर्वमिदं ततम्.
Very good. All of us together. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Purushassa Parah Partha Bhaktya Labhyasvananyaya Yasyantasthani Bhutani Ena Sarvamidam Tatam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So he told important, what is important sentence on previous sloka? Yam prapya na nivartante. Prapya yam na nivartante. So one who attains that supreme state, that means what? The state of jnanam, does not return. So what does it take to attain that state? Bhagavan says it is not difficult. You don't need to learn what? Pulling prana, yoga, keeping the focus on the heart, all those things you don't need to do. A very easy way. So Bhagavan is saying, hey Arjuna, this supreme principle here is what? Brahma Tattvam can be attained by undivided devotion, bhakti. So what is bhakti as per Bhagavad Gita? Jump to chapter number There is a chapter dedicated to Bhakti, Bhakti Yoga. What is it? Chapter number 12. Very good. All of you remember, no? Because that is not going to be repeated. If you go there and study the details of Bhakti Yoga, what is Bhakti Yoga actually? Bhagavan has recommended 5 steps. What are they? Karma Yoga 1, Sakama Karma Yoga, Karma Yoga 2, Nishkama Karma Yoga, then UY1, Upasana, Saguna Brahma Upasana, then UY2, correct? Nirguna Brahma Dhyanam or Dhyanam, and finally, what? Dhyanam. 5 stages. So it's all, very good. Now, Kalaman has put it correctly. So, Bhakti doesn't mean doing what? Vajana, dancing, and all those things. Harikatha. That is elementary. If you are doing only ABCD, if you go for a PhD, scholar, they won't admit you. What do you know? I know ABCD. Will they admit you inside there? Similarly, if Bhagavan wants to give you moksha, what do you know? I know Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, or I know some Harikatha. What will say? No, please go, study Vedanta and come. So very important. That's possible only by Vedanta Shastra. That's why we say what? Na karmana na prajaya dhane na tyage naike amritattama nashuho. What is important point in that particular mantra? Na, Radhakrishna sir. Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitartha. Very important. See, you are a sannyasi, you take sannyasam, study Vedanta Shastra, get jnanam. So Bhagavan is saying now that supreme state, that Brahma Tattvam, can be attained how? Very easily by undivided devotion. That means what? Undivided attention to study Vedanta Shastra, relentless study Vedanta Shastras. And so Bhagavan wants to say another important aspect of supreme principle. All beings are existent in this supreme principle, yes or no? I told you, as Sat Swarupam, existence principle, all beings exist in the supreme principle, and everything, matter, non-living beings, living beings, everything are all pervaded by the supreme principle. So, most important concept, which is what is called as what? Write down Sadhyo Mukti, Jivan Mukti, here and now, as compared to Krama Mukti is one, going to Brahmaloka and getting Krama Mukti. Even lower than Krama Mukti is once again Loka Praptihi, again and again, coming back to different lokas. We don't read. So now understand. If you don't reach Brahmaloka, you will go to different loka and come back again and again. Correct? Then, if you go to Brahmaloka, you have to study Vedanta Shastra, get Brahmagnanam. But here and now, you study Vedanta Shastra, properly understand Aham Brahmasmi, establish in Brahmagnanam, be a Brahmanishta, you will get Sadhyo Mukti, Jivan Mukti here and now. So, these 3 terms should be clear to you, all of you. Right? Jivan Mukti, Krama Mukti, and Loka Prapti means what? Going in cycles to different lokas. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Continue more in the next class. So all of you, once again, please understand that we are continuing the same 8th chapter, all the 4 classes. So you attend all the 4 classes and benefit from knowledge of this 8, 9, 10 and 11. 12 onwards, you will study from the recordings online. Who is going to chant? Gita Sammatsara Vaibhavam. Ramesh Venkateshan. Go ahead.
Namaskaram, Guruji. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. I'm going to be chanting from chapter 17, shlokas 15 to 21. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, Harihi Om, Om Sri Krishnaya Paramatmane Namaha, Ata Saptadashodhyayaha, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yogaha, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Anudvegakaram Vakyam, Satyam Priyahitam Chayat, Swadhyayabhyasanam Chaiva, Vanmayam Tapa Uchyate, Manah Prasada Saumyatvam, Maunam Atma Vinigraha, Bhavasam Shuddhir Ityetat, Tapo Manasam Uchyate, Shraddhaya Paraya Tattam, Tapastatrividam Naraiha, अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्युक्तैः सात्विकं परिचक्षते सत्कारमान तपोदम्भेन चैव यत् क्रियते तदिह प्रोक्तं राजसं चलमध्रुवं मूढग्राहीन् आत्मनो यत् पीडया क्रियते तपः परस्योत्सादनार्थं वा तत्तामसम् उदाहृतं दातव्यम् इति यद्दानं दीयतेऽनुपकारिणे देशे काले च पत्रे च तद्दानं सात्विकं स्मृतं यत्तु प्रत्युपकारार्थं फलम् उद्दिश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टं तद्दानं राजसं स्मृतम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ.
Very good chanting, Ramesh Venkatesan. So this chapter, dedicated to sattva, rajas, tamas with respect to all aspects, including danam. Remember this, datavyamiti danam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam sutam. Donate to the right person, right organization, the right way, the right time, and benefit. Om Shanti 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 Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Datsat. Krishna 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 Shubhamastu. Samasta Sanmangalani Bhavantu. Now we'll meet again in 12 hours and continue same 8th chapter. Narayana Narayana.